Spring is here. The selling seasons are on, plus your questions live. That is the topic du jour for today's live broadcast. And as always, we've been doing these for the last couple of weeks, really, and really enjoying taking as many questions as you guys have. So to have a question answered live, all you got to do is leave a comment on wherever you're watching this. And Nick and I would be more than happy to answer in real time. And we like opening it up for customers or non-customers. Doesn't matter to us. You guys have questions, art, marketing, and business related questions, and we've got answers. So a couple of different topics that we want to get into. Morning, Kim. You want to talk for a second so I can get these?
Yeah, and I think you know the topic to really try to focus your questions on, guys, is the spring art selling season that is days away here. Okay, because if we want to focus on something that matters, it should be around what are you doing for it? Are you ready for it? Or do you understand how important this is? Do you understand how unimportant everything else is if you are not in the game when the buyers are pulling out their wallets, you know, for these holidays that are happening during the spring art selling season? And frankly, all the different biggest art selling holidays and days of the year. Okay. And so that's like the first sort of like calibration question, Pat, you know, is like, is that the top question on your mind? Is that the top topic on all of your minds out there as artists? The spring art selling season is a very big deal. What are you doing about it? What are you already doing? What are you about to do? And do you have a good plan to execute on it? Because if this is not the number one thing that you're going to be focused on, then you know everything else that you're focused on really needs to be seen through that lens. I don't know that it's a priority. I don't know that it's a priority because Pat, as we've talked about a lot, and I think is so important, is it's like these times of year, it's not just about like being in the game just to sell. It's like validating your content, validating new subject matter. You know, like all like these times are when the action is happening, and so everything you're trying to do to make progress in your business can be done during these times, right? And that's why it's so important. And so it's super exciting when we are at this time where the season is just about to get started, and that's where we are, right? We're just a few days away now, so it's super exciting that this time is upon us.
Yep. It it makes sense when the wind is at your back to be doing your active marketing, right?
Exactly.
That's really what it comes down to. And you know, one of the things that we get sort of pigeonholed on a little bit is thinking that as an outfit that we're like this digital only outfit, and nothing could be further from the truth. Like, we absolutely encourage our customers to try to do some in-person events. And let me tell you, spring happens and everything opens up. There are shows going on and fairs and festivals and, you know, the farmers markets and the breweries. Anywhere that you can get your art, okay, into a booth and in front of eyeballs is always a good idea. It is always a good idea, right? So it's important to just mention that. And you know, it should be encouraging too, because it sells a little bit easier now than it did. It's a little bit easier to get deals over the line. So, you know,
and the shows are a part of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like the shows they're marketing the shows, you know, people who live in the cities and the towns know about the shows, even if they don't go. And it just starts programming everybody's mind about, you know, hey, there's some art, there's, you know, time to buy art. Like it's all a part of the psychology.
Yep. And you know, it if you can sell in person, face to face, you always want to do that.
Yes.
Like everyone, like, you know, not any of you guys watching this, okay? But artists tend to be a hyperbolic bunch when it comes to this. You guys, it's not binary. We absolutely have to have our art up on a website, okay? Such that website can sell for us when we're asleep. It's to 100 people at once, all the time. Very important. But it also means it doesn't also mean that you can't do in-person events too. You should absolutely be doing a combination of all of them. And like, look, I've never met a revenue source I don't like. Okay. And it is very easy to acquire new customers when you do an in-person Thayer's show, and especially if you have your lineup in order, right? And Arzo, I don't know if the audio, if your audio slows down, it's usually always on your end. It's the Instagram connection on your end. How you doing, Roy? So open line Monday, I suppose. Any and all questions we're answering. So, you know,
well, and I think since Roy joined, hey Roy, it's like it's good to continue this topic on the in person, right? Because I think that one of the things that is so commonly overlooked is like if anyone out there has struggled with, you know, posting on social media, sending out emails, getting likes, getting engagement and stuff, but just not getting buyers, you know, or just getting a little amount of activity, a little amount of sales activity and all that stuff. The number one thing that you should do is get out in person, go do some shows, go get in the demographic of the audience that you are trying to sell your content to, right? You got to get out of the digital and you got to get into the real person, you know, so you can get real direct feedback, talk to people, see people, you know, and understand what's going on there. Because if you're making content for an audience, you know, and they live in the area and all that stuff, let's say it's like local content. Like if I'm in Austin and I create a whole bunch of Austin content, I paint a whole bunch of paintings with all the iconic locations in Austin, Texas. And then I go do a show in downtown Austin and nobody's buying my work, Pat, I got a problem, you know? Like I got to talk to these people. I got to talk to residents. I got to talk to people who live here and find out, why do you not want to hang this on your wall? You know, like what do you hang on your wall? First of all, do you have any Longhorns? Do you have any like, I mean, there, you know, what is it? What am I missing here? I have to connect those dots by talking to real customers, talking to them, not emailing them, not posting on social media. You have to talk to them at that point. And that's what's so valuable about being in person and having that as a part of your regular game. You know, it's not just to do it, just to solve that problem. It's because, you know, there is no substitute for talking to customers. There's that saying that we love: whoever is closest to their customer wins. Whoever is furthest from their customer loses. Okay. We take this very seriously. It's why we are live talking to you guys. It's why we're asking you for comments. It's why we want to know, you know, what you're saying, because we want to be close to our customers and to people who are thinking about being customers. This is the way you build the best product. This is the way you build the best service. You know, there's no other way around it.
Yep. And by the way, Deborah, case in point, right? Like, you know, in Montana too, like, you know, the minute that snow stops falling and it warms up even just a little bit, it's on. Like the pent up demand that comes, especially like when you're in some of the colder climates. Spring is just great for sales.
Spring selling season, baby. I love it.
Yeah. And I love too that like when you do the in-person fairs and shows, and then you have the ability to make the follow-up deals, you know. Well, I just gotta go home and measure and everything else, and then you get into a nice little follow-up. And this one makes me laugh. And Arzo, you haven't been watching long enough, but I tell this story that like on Saturdays and Sundays I go to this different coffee shop because my kids love the cinnamon rolls, and so that's like kind of like our thing. We like go to our cinnamon rolls. And on my drive down to this coffee shop, which is kind of on a busy street, there's an artist that has like 9 easels, and he just puts them all out on his driveway. And because he has a house on a high traffic street, he's selling his art in person every single solitary Saturday.
I love that.
Yeah. And so, you know, if you want to set up your canopy tent in front of your house, like all damn day, you know, I routinely recommend my customers run a garage sale, right? Because 1, you have too much crap. We all do. You got to get rid of some of that stuff. And then 2, put your art in there and have a bunch of questions, right? Have a bunch of questions about what's going on, you know, with this art. Do you like it? Like, what are some ideas? You know, all of the above. All of the above.
That. I absolutely love that. I mean, you could make the argument that this is funny, but funny but not funny. That like the real estate decision of an artist could actually be like very impactful for their life, right? And what I like where they rent, where they buy, and like, are you at a location that gives you access to just walk out and set up a table? You know, or set up on the street and get that, because that feedback, oh my gosh,
So
The
valuable.
amount of feedback that you can get from real humans is going to change your life. You know,
Yep.
like
And
if you don't have those inputs coming in at you, you're just guessing.
you're creating in a vacuum with no
You're creating in
feedback
a vacuum,
whatsoever.
and that's the biggest problem. And that is, you know, the number one way to just not sell. Like, you are very far from your customer, very, very, very far. And what this person is doing, setting up in the front of their house, you and I both know it is a way to win. Because
Yep.
if you have people coming and you're not selling anything and you're an artist, you're going to
You
create
know,
something new.
you
You
know,
know,
yeah, yeah.
you're going to create
Um,
something new. You're going to be like, oh, that's what you want? Okay, I'll create that. And then before you know it, you got enough feedback. You start making some sales because you're actually providing a product that they want, you know?
you know, amazing, amazing. Here's a really good question, and we get this quite a lot. Okay, and it's, I have an alter ego name, the Leather Stylist. Do I need to use my personal name for the website? Your thoughts? It's first of all, there's no right answer to this. Okay, there's no right answer at the end of the day. My personal feeling is most artists, the most successful artists, are individual creator driven brands. Okay,
Agreed.
so there's no point in hiding, right, who you are. Now if as a leather stylist, like, you're going to try and turn that into a company, like a bigger business, then in those scenarios it could be like a little bit less about an individual. But for most of the time, like, you know, they need to know who you are. They need to know what makes you interesting, what makes you tick. And if you do that, you're going to end up increasing sales. And it's just the nature of how it goes. So I think that's really, really important, right?
It's like the nature of humans connecting with humans, right? Like, you know, remembering who you are. They might remember the leather stylist, but knowing your name, all that feeling. Like, look at us right now. Look at we've got our names on here. Like,
Yeah.
it says Nick Friend, CEO. You guys see that? You know, it says Patrick, CMO. Like, it's got our names. Does it make you feel closer to us? What if our names weren't on there and I said Art Storefronts guy? You know, Art Storefronts guy number one, Art Storefronts guy number two. Probably wouldn't you? You probably feel a little bit more connected. You know my name. You know, you can look it up. So I think it's the same way. I feel the same way about me as a buyer, as an art buyer. You know, the people that I buy art from, I know the name of the artist. I feel closer to them. I think that's a part of it.
Yep. And you know, going back to the fairs and shows concept quickly, like, you know, this is exactly it. You sold 4 paintings, right? Like, you guys, most artists and photographers don't do anything all year, and maybe they sell 3 or 4 pieces a year. The fact that you can get it done in one weekend, and the fact that, like, once you start adding in some of these other items into your lineup, ZRO, like, you know, you go from acquiring, like, you know, 5 to 7 to 10 to 15 customers a year to hundreds. Like, wrap your head around that. Like,
Yeah.
I can directly predict within reason the revenue potential of an art or a photography business by asking one question: how many new customers did you acquire last month, last year, last week, whatever the case may be, right? If you're acquiring a ton of new customers, some portion of those folks are going to become collectors and just keep buying art from you year after year after year after year. And that's this business. It's just numbers at the end of the day. Like, you know, why do I advise all of our customers to sell merch? Why is that so important? Because it's a low friction, low ticket item that makes it easier to acquire a new customer. That's it.
Exactly.
It's about the number of new customers that you
Like
acquire.
coasters, right?
Yes.
So hard to get these in in the window, but it's just impulse items that are ready to go, and those are future collectors, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I know, like, I'm right now, I'm on, like, you know, I am on a cell phone case terror. Okay. An absolute terror, because I realized I had this, like, epiphany last week, is that, you know, one, Nick and I are consumers of art. We're not artists, right? And as a consumer of art, like, our customers will sometimes send us the photo books. And so Nick has a couple of photo books from our customers. I have a couple of photo books, or, you know, coffee table books. And once you have one of those in your house and you like the art, it is such a powerful little suggestion. It's just a little poke, like, this book is beautiful, right? This book is beautiful. You should have one of these on your wall. I see it psychologically working on me, and I know what they're up to. And I see it psychologically working on my wife too, She's like, maybe we should get one of these pieces, right? Okay. Well, why is this cell phone case so important, right? Why is a cell phone case so important? I want you to be honest with yourself. Okay. I want all of you on here to be honest with yourself. I don't know how it works on Android, but I know how it works on an iPhone. Okay. On an iPhone, we have a little report in here. Okay. And you can just scroll down from the top, and it's called screen time. So there it is. Mine comes up immediately. This is my demo phone. So if I go to activity, okay, your look at this will be a little bit different. But in this report in screen time, and this is my demo phone, so it doesn't work. It doesn't work for this. It's going to tell you how many times you picked up your phone in a given day. Do you know what the average numbers usually are? It's like 200. Okay. For some of you, it's going to be worse than that. So that means if you can get your art, okay, onto a cell phone case 200 times a day, at least people are going to see it. Do you have any idea how powerful that is? Like, we make it extremely easy to do it. I mean, I grabbed Bill's site really quickly, and he's got, Toby Keith, rest in peace. This guy just died. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Super sad. I mean, I thought way too young. But here it is. You could memorialize him. He could be on a cell phone case, right? And it's like in 2 seconds, Bill can now sell these cell phone cases with his Toby Keith piece on it, right? And obviously you can adjust it how you see fit and how you want it to look on the merch. Will the 3D viewing work on my phone? I think it does.
It's only one way to find out.
There's only one way to find out.
There you go.
Yep. So it says 2 fingers. Do I have to 2 finger this thing? Oh, wow.
No, you just use your, I guess with your mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys, if you start selling these things, okay, you have an advertisement that's going to be seen 200 times a day, 7 days a week. Contemplate that. That's insane. That is insane. That is a beachhead. That is like such a sneaky way to to just make sure you're reminding people, oh, hey, I exist. Oh, hey, how that goes. Yeah. Zero art. It's very, very easy with us.
Zero art.
Yeah. It's very, very easy with us. Obviously, like with us, it's set up and running in 2 days. I don't know who I would recommend outside of us. But there's companies out there that you can find. I honestly find it to be like the most important merchandise related item that someone could even possibly sell right now. And
the other thing that you didn't mention with that just adds on top of it is like phones are status symbols, right?
Correct.
Right. Like this is you've had some good lines on this over the past, but like there's a reason a lot of people buy iPhones just because they want to be seen with an iPhone, right? Like there was like that phrase phone envy, right? Was something that was common.
Yeah.
And so the person who has their phone with your artwork on it is like probably one of the greatest endorsements and advertisements that you could have,
Yeah.
Like, because they're out in the world and they're using their phone all the time, as we all are, right? And they're standing there with your artworort on their phone. What better advertisement is there?
Just the power flex, just the daily power flex. I actually realized, like, I'm going to start having to teach all of my customers how to start doing bundles too. Like in Bill's case, right? In Bill's case, like it should be a 12 case bundle, okay, of your 12 favorite artists, and it should be a gift, okay? It should be a gift that you can give, and you can just power flex, swap in cases in and out, okay, with your art 200 times a day, Nick. It is the most valuable real estate that exists in the world, in your mind's perspective. Like,
totally,
it's insane.
Totally. And we should explain, like, what are we showing right now? Okay, this is a Art Storefront's website. This is one of our customers, William Stidham. This is his website, his painting of Toby Keith, and the 360-degree viewer tool. Okay. That is included in our websites that allows your visitor to see any item, whether it's a canvas or a metal print, a piece of artwork, or it's a merch item like a mug or in a phone case like this, in a 3D, and you can move it around and you can see it from every angle. So you understand exactly the product that you're getting, right? Which goes back to the concept of merchandising. All right. Which is a whole nother topic. Right? A whole nother topic we'll have to hit, which is probably not for today.
I would probably start giving a cell phone case away every single solitary day.
Gosh,
I
mean,
would go. I
could
would
argue
go onto
that a
Instagram. I
cell
would
phone
go
case
onto
should-
Instagram and say like the best comment wins. Let me know, because this is there is no better advertising that exists on the planet right now than being on the back of this thing.
I mean, what about
Anyway,
giving one to everyone who buys a piece of art too? It's like they're already a fan. They're already a fan. You know, the like, hey, what phone do you have? I'd love to send you a phone case of your piece. You know, the piece that they bought. Like, if there's someone likely to actually use it, that could be phenomenal.
Phenomenal. It makes me, like we're really gonna have to come up with some better, some more formalized and smarter bundles. And I mean, it's you guys like, hey, send me a DM with your email address, okay? And I'm gonna pick one winner in 30 minutes, and the case is going to you. Boom. Like I could do that every single solitary day. I mean, what do these things cost wholesale? Like $12, $9? I don't even think it's very inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a single solitary best thing that you could possibly have. All right. Yep. Thanks for the shout outs, guys. Appreciate all of you guys. If you arrived late and you have an art marketing question, a photography marketing question, we are answering. So all you have to do is leave a comment. We love just doing Q&A. I mean, it's just kind of fun.
And you might as well, while they're typing some comments, you might as well give the rundown of, I think is there a webinar today?
Oh yeah, there is one. I'm ready to zoom. I'm ready to zoom.
We can talk about the deal too.
Yeah, I'm ready to. Oh yeah, we haven't even talked about the deal. Is it live? Can we talk about
it? No. Well, you topic for another time. But end of the month deal. Yes, it's the end of the month, guys. Right. The last day of the month is actually Sunday, but this ends on Friday as the last business day of the month. We have a big deal to join Art Storefronts, a big discount. Lots of things being thrown in. If you are considering Art Storefronts at all, or you're thinking about it, make sure you request a demo. Go to our website and do that so that you can get information in time. Make sure you're a good fit in time before this month ends. And I know that there's an extra special deal that's being sent out by email if you're on our email list. And that's a reason to be on there. But there's an extra special deal, but there's a limited number of spots for that. So can't blast this over the airwaves, Pat, because that thing's going to run out pretty quick in a few days.
Okay. I mean, I'm still like so on this cell phone thing, and it's like you look at Bill's art, for instance, right? And so he paints all these famous people, David Bowie, Val Kilmer, Frank. Like, I would almost go as far to say like, okay, all businesses need to advertise, guys. We know this, right? Art and photography businesses are no different. So what does everybody do? They try to go to Facebook and they run Facebook ads, right? Facebook ads are A, very expensive. B, just don't work for art or photography. They never have. Okay. I've never seen an artist of any stripe, okay, consistently advertise on Facebook and Instagram, which tells me everything that I need to know is that the campaigns are not ROI positive activities. So when you consider like each one of these is probably the most effective ad you could ever in your entire life run. These are all just ads. I would probably order a couple thousand of these, okay, to try and get a better price on volume. I don't know if there's a better volume discount or whatever, and just start giving them out all the time, everywhere, because 200 times a day, people are going to be picking it up. 200 times a day. I mean, I don't know. I need to get this all down in a blog post. Like it's just insane, right? It's just absolutely insane to contemplate. All right, I see your guys' questions. Don't worry, I'm going to get them all. I can't get off this cell phone thing. Like everything in my head is just screaming like, why the hell was I not on this earlier? Yeah. So initial pricing, Lionel, is just about the range. It's about the range. The range is the important thing. And it's like the beautiful thing about our operation is that instantaneously, the minute you uploaded your art, you have the ability to run a range, right? You're going to have prices from 0 to 100. Okay. And you're going to have non-wall art in there. Beautiful. You're going to have prices from 100 to 1,000, and then you're going to have prices 1,000 plus. So the range is what's important. And, everyone like approaches price like, I wonder how I should price my stuff. It's like, okay, when you have the range, the score takes care of itself, because instead of you just randomly magically coming up with numbers, you're starting at the bottom and you're getting all the pieces on the board, and then it naturally steps up the prices of your limited editions and your originals. So it's a beautiful thing when it works. But anyone that needs a guide on pricing, I wrote like a mega comprehensive post on this, and it's awesome. I'm really proud of it. So if you want to get my guide on pricing and you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on Instagram, all you have to do is leave a comment with the word pricing, and I will send it to your Messenger/Instagram DM box. So that's where that'll go. And yes, Zero Art, we 100% cater to non-wall art related artists too. We sort of started out catering directly to just, you know, wall artists, but then you realize like there is no website software for sculpture. There is no website software for jewelry. There is no website software for wood turners. Okay, and metal art and like there's no custom solution built to you guys, and you guys all have the exact same marketing issues that all of our customers have. There's no different, you know. There's a few little tweaks that you make to things here or there, but by and large at a macro, it's the same game. So 100% we cater to non-wall art too, and all of our customers, like, we have such a diverse customer base already, you guys. I've got people selling classes. I've got people selling tours into the national parks. I've got people selling CDs. I've got people selling novels. Like we have people on there doing just about everything, you know, just about everything. Susie, if you are a customer, you need to go take the niche course again. And even if you've taken it once, go take it again, because I'm telling you, it's not about trending subjects per se. Okay, it is more about finding an audience built in. Now, you might be talking a little bit about newsjacking, which is a different thing. But if you're a customer, you need to go take the niche course again, Susie. It'll every time you take it, it's like you learn more and more and more.
Can you explain the newsjack so people understand this? Because I think this is great in terms of subject matter thinking, like thinking of new ideas for what subject matter you can.
Yeah. So the easiest one is like Toby Keith just died, right?
Yeah,
he just died, and so everybody's mourning him and celebrating his life and everything else. And you know, if one day after he died, Bill had this piece already created, and he said, "Hey guys, here's my piece on Toby Keith. You know, I just want to let you know I was a huge fan. I know you guys are a huge fan. Take 20% off site wide as we mourn him." Right. So that's an offer. It's a version of newsjacking, right? It's a version of hitting a trending topic, if you like, which can be really important. Two rapid fire ones here. Anyone selling AI digital art? Yes, of course. We've got every artist imaginable. The rub with anything digital is all of you digital guys think all of us, i.e. art consumers, have your magical powers of visualization. We do not have those magical powers of visualization. So what do I mean by that? Print out your damn work and understand what you sell, digital artists. Okay, you can't just show off JPEGs and think people are going to buy things. Not how it works in the real world. Like,
that's right. That's the whole concept of merchandising, right?
Yeah, you have to have the actual thing. You have to have the actual thing. It has to be printed out. We have to be able to see it. You know,
people, you need to show your customers the product, the end product, the item that they are actually going to hang on their wall or they are going to buy. It cannot just be a 2D on your website image. Huge mistake. That's called merchandising. Okay.
Very important. And like, don't think you can break that rule. No one can afford to break that rule. You know, going all the way back to where this thing started, for those that have been on the whole time, like, do you know what my dirty little secret why I'm trying to push all of my customers to do an in-person Therra show? Because then they have to print out the damn inventory and have it, right? They have to have all the inventory ready to go, in which case I just forced you into merchandising, because if you have the inventory, now you have all these things to show off. You have all this work to show off in your marketing. You have all this work to show off when you're doing a live broadcast or a live art show on Instagram or Facebook. So all very important stuff.
Such a big difference if you're like, you know, just because I have the coasters in my hand right now, right?
Yeah.
If you're, let's say you want to promote coasters today, right? Mm-hmm. You do a post on social media and you're like, all coasters, you know, are on sale for 15% off or something like that. Like celebrating coasters in advance of Easter, whatever, you know?
Yep.
How big of a dip? Like, just think about that. That's just, that was your text on the social media post. Maybe you have an image of one versus you on a video showing it. Hey, talking about, hey, here's what I love about these coasters. You know, you notice the gloss, like they actually have a gloss to them. I think my waterfall images, it lends itself very well. So if you love any of those, these are the perfect ones to get. I mean, the whole thing changes, you know,
whole
like
game.
You've now given your audience an exact understanding of the product that they are going to receive if they buy it. Okay. And more often than not, when you're asking people to go to your website and buy your art, or you're posting on social media, you're just posting your 2D image, which means nothing to anyone. It doesn't reflect what is actually going to hang on their wall. What is actually going to hang on their wall? A canvas print, a metal print, a paper print, a framed print, or it's going to be a merch item that is not going on the wall, you know, that is going to look a certain way, and they're going to want to know what is it on the side and what is it on the back. This is all friction, buyer friction, that stops people from buying when they go to your website, okay? Or when, you know, when they're looking at you on social media. It's like there's friction in the middle there. You got to remove it. And typically that's the website's job. The tools on your website will do that. That's why when we're showing you some of these features, like the 360-degree viewer feature that Patrick was showing you earlier with that phone case, or the wall preview, or augmented reality and things like that. All of these things are just to remove questions that buyers have. Like, whoa, I love this art. I like it on canvas. I can see it. But is that going to go with my wall color? You know, is that going to go? Is that going to jive with this? So they should be able to change the wall color on your site to be able to understand what that art is going to look like. So they're like, okay, that box is checked. A lot of boxes have to get checked in order for a sale to be made. You know, sometimes an interior designer needs to be involved. Sometimes a spouse needs to be involved. Your website should be facilitating all of that and almost be like a robot salesperson for you, removing this friction as people are on your site.
Absolutely correct. Quick one for Timothy. Is there a niche that is too small? Yeah, there are. There's lots of them that are too small, sadly. The danger, though, is thinking that you're going to be able to answer that question until you've given it a shot. Because I continue to be surprised, right? I continue to be surprised on a regular basis on just how big some niches truly are. There's certainly, you know, what is the oft repeated line? The riches are in the niches, right? Some of them can be quite significant. So you just won't know. And like, look, you can have multiple different niches too, right?
Yeah,
like, very, very important, you know.
And you should.
Yeah, and you should. This is you know, one that comes up all the time. Okay, just for the record, put this to bed. NFTs are a real thing. NFTs are totally awesome. In the Instagram context, they are complete scams. These are people trying to rip you off. Ignore them. In fact, on Instagram, there's an ability to, can I show it quickly? There's an ability to block keywords. And so you can go in here. I gotta get a formal. I'm not gonna do it now because I don't know where it is. I'm gonna get lost in the menus. But you can block any messages sent to you that has anything to do with NFTs, right? Like, one of the things that drives me nuts is like this NFT scam on Instagram is so pervasive. Like, I see
it's working. It's because it's working.
I see it in people's bios all the time. It's like they're wasting Instagram bio saying no NFTs. Like, just do a keyword block. You're done. Then you won't get any more nonsense from these guys at all. So in that context, Lionel, just delete, move on, ignore them. They're not serious. Okay. No one is contacting artists and saying, hey, I was going to buy art, which you clearly have for sale, but I would prefer, no. I
would prefer an NFT and pay you $5,000 for it. It's like, scam all the way.
Yes.
Stay away.
And you're also a Nigerian prince. Is that right? Right. You know, give me a break. Just give me a break. All right, guys. Who else? Questions? Can be anything about anything. So, Zero, would you mind sharing some of the other ideas of non-wall art items other than phone cases and coasters? Like, it can literally be anything. Literally anything. I've got some customers that hand paint wooden spoons. They buy kitchen spoons in bulk and they hand paint them. Okay. It just could be stickers.
We could talk about, like all the merch items that we offer, you know, that are ready to go. There's tons of them. There's ornaments, there's tote bags, there's puzzles, there's stickers, as you mentioned, right? There's trays, like what do you call it? Acrylic, like dining trays, like where you can like eat your meal on it, you know? There's like, I think there's shower curtains, there's yoga mats, you know? What else? There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. All I care about is that you have it, right? is that you have it. That's the
Shirts,
ball game.
sweatshirts, tank tops, all that.
Yeah, and like, it's got such a stigma to it, like the whole merch thing, right? And I always just put these notions to bed by saying, when is the last time you went to a museum that didn't have a gift shop? I'll wait. No one's ever told me. No one's ever told me about that museum that didn't have a gift shop, right? And it's like it's just this nonsense. Like there's so much nonsense in this industry that gets told, to artists and photographers, and the merch one is especially one. Like it can be anything, you guys. It doesn't even matter to me. But what I know is the more new customers you acquire per year, the faster your business is going to grow. The more new customers you acquire per year, the higher the revenue a ceiling of your business is, the higher the revenue potential of your business is. And if you're just selling wall art all the time, that is a high friction item. Okay. You need some spur of the moment, quick dopamine hit. I want to reward this creator. Oh, boom, here's something cheap and inexpensive that I can get into. You just acquired a customer. You just acquired an email. And what I know, because we've been doing this for a long time, if I can get you guys acquiring 200 or 300 customers a year instead of 6, okay, year 1 is going to be rosy. Year 2, rosier. Year 3, rosier. But 4, 5, 6, and 7, when you are sending an email about your spring sale to thousands of customers that you've acquired, a large portion of them are going to come back and buy again, because the easiest customer to get is the one that you already have. Okay, that needs to be taught. That needs to be shouted from the mountaintops. It is far easier for an art or photography business to get revenue from someone that is already purchased and comes back and purchases again than it is to go out and find someone new for the first time. Okay, where was that lesson in art school? I don't think they taught it, right? They should have, because that's how you grow a business. So I want all of you guys acquiring as many damn customers as you can. And half the strategies that I outline all day, every day, are just to do that, because I know if you're acquiring hundreds, you're actually going to have a real business on your hand.
Yeah, the other thing too with that is is that some people can only afford a gift item at that point in time, or that's all they want to spend.
Yeah.
And like, why would you not want them to become fans of you, right? Where they get to have an item that is from you, and like Pat, and you just thinking about like your future social media posts and all that stuff, and having these fans engaged with it, and dropping comments and supporting your posts and supporting your business, and you just think about how many hundreds of people, eventually thousands of people, that might buy a merch item from you, that can be supporting your efforts online and cheering you on, and you don't think that's a part of this whole thing? I mean, this is one of the reasons why I've moved from a no merch, over the last 5 years into a oh yeah, this is a way bigger deal than we ever thought,
Huge.
way bigger deal, because it's part of, you have to see it, from the context of the whole business, and not just the one individual item where it's like, is it hurting me because I'm not offering this, right? Or just getting one extra sale or one extra customer. It's understanding how this fits into the whole ecosystem of building, your own art business over time, and getting the fans and sort of the army behind you to help make all of that happen, right? That ultimately helps other people make decisions to buy a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, order from you.
Yep. Yeah, Zero Art. So for you, and he was asking a question about, email acquisition. I want you to subscribe to the podcast and start listening to it. It's on, everyone should be subscribed to it. It's good. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts, which is where all of you guys listen to podcasts, because that's what my data says. So it's in both places. I've got some really good episodes on here. What I want you to focus on, Zero Art, is number 55 and number 56, which is the smart artist does not run ads. Instead, they do this. I'm going to find it here. It's number 55 and 56. Okay. I introduced this concept of the loop and supercharging the loop. And it's one of the most effective techniques an artist, a creative, can use to acquire emails, especially when they don't have any, just getting started. So I'm not going to go super in depth to it now, but again, all of you guys should be subscribed to this podcast. Totally free, totally awesome. And okay, to toot my own horn, we're over the 500,000 download mark, which is pretty awesome. By the way, do you know that again, that puts us in the top 1% of podcasts in the entire world? The slow and steady art marketing podcast. So there you go. All right, guys. Who else? Comments, questions? Yeah, Zero, you'll like it. Trust me. Those episodes you'll be like, oh my gosh, this is the smartest technique ever. Just a great hack, but you got to do the work. Huge deal ending this week. If you get on the phone, they're gonna tell you something on that phone that's gonna blow your mind, because we can't talk about it right now. So there's that. Awaken Flying My Dream, the podcast link, just anywhere you get podcasts, just search for Art Marketing Podcast. Art Marketing Podcast is what it's called. Once more, there's the orange logo, Art Marketing Podcast. You can search on Spotify. You can search on iTunes. I do need to get those links into the bot, though. It's a mental reminder to me. All right. And I'm doing a Zoom today. If you want to come talk to me in an intimate Zoom setting, I'm going to do that in like 3 hours from now or 2 hours from now. So if you want to attend that, you can just leave a comment, Zoom on this one, on Facebook or on Instagram, and I will send you a link to come join me. It should be pretty fun. Do live Q&A, and then I got a little presentation that's pretty good too.
And that's 3 p.m. Central?
You're going to make me do the thing. 1 Pacific, 3 Central, 4 Eastern.
There you go.
Yeah. Never easy to keep all this time.
And you guys, as we started off this session talking about it, so let's end it talking about it. The spring art selling season is right here, a couple of days away. You cannot miss it. There is no other problem. You don't have a pricing problem. You don't have a subject matter problem. You have I am not participating in the biggest art selling times of the year problem. That's what almost every artist has. They're focused on the wrong, I got to change my website. No, the number one thing you have to do is be in the game when buyers are pulling out their wallets, period. If you are not doing that, that is the problem you need to solve right now. Okay. Right now, whether it's this week or next week or the week after, the spring art selling season is here. We've got, Easter, we got Mother's Day, we got Father's Day, we got all these different things that are happening in here. And it's about to get kicked off. That is the number one thing you got to focus on. It's super exciting too. You should be pumped because this is the time when art is selling, starting to pick up all over again. And it really just continues through summer and into the Q4. But the spring art selling season, you're here, you're hearing about it. If you don't take advantage of it, it's because you chose not to, but you did hear about it here. And that's the number one thing we want you guys to focus on.
Yep. You see what Deborah did there? It's like, this is what happens. This is why
exactly
you have
right.
to have something in the water, right?
That's exactly right. It's like, it's beginning,
Yep. And Nick and I's job is to encourage you to get up and get going, right? Get up and get going. Yeah, Susie. So we integrate with a merch partner. And so, our artists don't buy anything wholesale or anything like that. It's all print on demand, which is just amazing. Everything.
Well, yeah, but you can buy it for yourself, as well. We should mention. So when you're a customer, you have the ability to buy it wholesale, at your cost, for, so that you could have inventory for anything in person, or if you wanted to just send one to somebody, or something like that.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Well, we'll probably do another one of these a little bit later this afternoon. Thank you guys, as always, for your comments, your questions, which makes the broadcast really fun. Nick, thanks for your time. And brand new week. The spring season is on. Let's get it, you guys. Let's get it.
Thanks, guys.